at the kind of phone I'm using. Christmas is coming. How do I get big boys like the ones you and your friends have? I want to be like you. I want this good life. The loud bass of the music from Club Monarch vibrated through Uduak's chest as she sipped on her watered-down cocktail in the corner of the club. She couldn't help but let her eyes drift to the center of attention. A group of gorgeous ladies draped in shimmering dresses, their long Brazilian hair cascading over their shoulders like silk. Each one held the latest iPhones, snapping pictures and recording videos as the guys at their table popped bottles of champagne with sparklers flying in the air. Uduak clenched her outdated Android phone in her hand. The cracked screen mocked her. "Chai, see life," she muttered. She tugged at the hem of her dress, a last-minute rental from her neighbor's boutique. Her makeup, though applied with care, couldn't compete with the professionally done faces of the women glowing under the club lights. "How do they do it?" she whispered to herself. "See their lives. Me too, I deserve this soft life." Later, Uduak found herself in the club restroom, touching up her lipstick in front of the mirror. As she dabbed at her face, she spotted one of the girls from the VIP section, Rita, brushing her long Brazilian hair. Rita was effortlessly stunning, with her lashes fluttering like butterfly wings and her perfectly manicured nails glittering under the restroom lights. Uduak swallowed hard and approached her. Sorry, excuse me. Can I help you brush your hair?" Rita raised an arched brow, but handed her the brush without a word. Uduak took it eagerly and began brushing the wig with careful strokes. "Your hair is so fine," Uduak said, breaking the silence. "Please, I want to ask you something." Rita looked at her through the mirror, her expression unreadable. "What is it?" "How can I mean, how do I get big boys like the ones you and your friends have? How do I enter this life?" Rita chuckled softly and turned around, fixing her gaze on Uduak. "Are you sure you know what you are asking?" "Yes," Uduak replied, her enthusiasm bubbling over. "I've been humiliated enough. Look at the kind of phone I'm using. Christmas is coming, and I must pepper them this year." Rita smiled, her eyes glittering with something Uduak couldn't place. "Okay," she said, handing Uduak her phone number. "Call me tomorrow." The next day, Uduak arrived at Rita's address, her jaw nearly dropping when she saw the building. A towering penthouse stood before her, with sleek glass windows and luxury cars parked in the driveway. "See house nah," she whispered under her breath, clutching her thrift store handbag tightly. The chaperone, a uniformed lady with a polite smile, led her inside. The living room was vast and opulent, with plush white sofas, a crystal chandelier, and artwork that looked like it cost millions. Uduak could barely sit still as she took in her surroundings. "Madam Rita will join you shortly," the chaperone said, placing a glass of chilled juice in front of her. Uduak's eyes darted round the room. "This girl is not even older than me," she muttered to herself. "See how she's living. God, I beg." The sound of heels clicking on the marble floor caught her attention. Rita appeared, dressed in a colorful, flowing jumpsuit that seemed to shimmer with her every step. She moved with the grace of someone who knew she owned the world. "Uduak, Rita greeted, her smile warm. "You're so welcome, girl." Good evening, ma. Good evening." Udrak stammered, her nerves getting the better of her. "Relax," Rita said, settling gracefully into a chair across from her. "Make yourself at home." Udrak took a deep breath. "Your house is beautiful," she managed, her voice tinged with awe. Rita smiled knowingly. "Thank you. So, tell me, what exactly do you want?" Udrak leaned forward, her voice trembling with desperation. I want to be like you. I want this good life. Even if it's just 1/4 of what you have, I'll be the happiest girl alive." Rita studied her for a moment before nodding. "I understand. I was once like you. Broke, frustrated, and unsure of what to do next." Udrak's eyes widened. "You mean you weren't born rich?" "Far from it," Rita said with a bitter laugh. "Last year, 2023, I was squatting with a friend in a one-room apartment. I faced insults, humiliation, and disgrace. But look at me now," she spread her arms, gesturing to her luxurious surroundings. "Chai!" Udrak exclaimed, her sympathy and admiration mixing together. Rita continued, her tone turning serious. "Everything you see here, I worked for it. But it's not an easy road. Are you sure you are ready for it?" Udrak nodded vigorously. "I am ready. Just tell me what to do." Rita glanced at her phone. "I have a party to attend tonight. I think it's better if you see for yourself what this life is about. Do you want to come along?" Udrak's excitement was barely contained. "Wetin I dey carry my life do now? I dey available. Na because of me wey Davido sing 'I'm available, I'm available.'" Rita burst into laughter. "You are funny. I like that." As Udrak rode in Rita's sleek car to the party, she couldn't help but feel a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The road ahead was unknown, but for her, the promise of a better life was worth any risk. This Christmas, she vowed, her story would change, and no one in her village would dare look down on her again. Rita found herself in a plush hotel room with a man old enough to be her grandfather, 78 years old to be exact. The sight of his wrinkled hands made her stomach churn, but she gritted her teeth and endured the night. By morning, she was handed an envelope stuffed with crisp naira notes. 500,000 naira. Her heart raced as she stared at the money in disbelief. Back at Rita's penthouse, Udrak couldn't contain her excitement. "Shey na like this thing be? Just one night," she exclaimed, holding up the cash. Rita, lounging on a plush sofa and casually counting her own share, 2.5 million naira, gave her a knowing smirk. She tucked the money into her designer handbag and said, "This is just the tip of the iceberg, baby. Keep hustling like this and you'll be counting over 10 million naira a week." Udrak's eyes widened in disbelief. "You say waiting? 10 million naira? Abeg, no play with me oh." Rita chuckled, fixing her gaze on Udrak. "Dey play. You think say na joke? Listen, you use what you have to get what you want. That's how the game works." With Rita's guidance, Udra quickly fell deeper into the lifestyle. She began taking calls from more clients, most of them older and wealthier. Her disgust was soon replaced by excitement as the money rolled in. In just a few months, Udra transformed from the girl struggling to make ends meet to a sophisticated, wealthy young lady. She bought a luxurious mansion in Lagos, furnished it with opulent decor, and acquired a fleet of expensive cars, including a 2025 Range Rover Sport. Her new lifestyle was the talk of the town. Her new profound wealth also came with a new attitude, one dripping with arrogance. One afternoon, as she cruised through Lagos in her pristine white Range Rover, a young woman attempted to cross the road in front of her car. Udra screeched to a halt, rolling down her window to glare at the woman. "Don't you dare pass in front of my car. I don't want your poverty to stain it," she snapped, waving the woman away dismissively. In another incident, Udra splashed muddy water on a young man dressed in white, clearly on his way to an interview. He stood in shock, staring at his now ruined outfit. "Ah!" the man exclaimed, but Udra barely slowed down. She reached into her bag, pulled out a wand of cash and tossed it out the window. "Sort yourself out," she called out as her car zoomed off. One day, Udra walked into an upscale boutique, her diamond-studded heels clicking against the marble floors. The store was bustling with customers, but that didn't sit well with her. As she approached the shop attendant and said, "I want to shop in peace. How much will it take to clear this place out?" The attendant blinked in surprise. "Clear everyone out, ma'am?" But Udrak interrupted, slipping a 500,000 naira bundle onto the counter. "Will this handle it?" The attendant swallowed hard and nodded. Turning to the customers, she announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly ask you to vacate the store for a short while. Our VVIP guests would like to shop privately. Please feel free to wait at the juice bar in the mall." Murmurs filled the room as the customers reluctantly exited. Udrak smirked, adjusting her designer sunglasses as she began selecting clothes. "That's better," she muttered to herself. Udrak's rise was meteoric, but so was her disdain for anyone she deemed beneath her. She had it all: money, power, influence, and she wielded it unapologetically. However, beneath the surface of her glamorous life lay questions she refused to confront. Was she truly happy? And at what cost had this wealth come? When Udrak traveled to her village for Christmas, it was a grand affair. She arrived in a convoy of luxury cars, stepping out in a designer outfit with jewelry that sparkled in the sunlight. Her lavish appearance left everyone speechless. Udrak's life, once glittering with wealth and luxury, spiraled into unimaginable despair. It began with an unusual itch that quickly turned into an unbearable pain. Despite spending heavily on hospital visits and specialist consultations, her condition worsened. One day, as she sat in her once glamorous penthouse, she noticed an unbearable stench. Then came the unthinkable. Maggots began crawling out of her private parts. Her cries of horror echoed through the empty walls of her home, but no one came to her aid. She tried every treatment, every prayer house, and every herbal concoction she could find, but nothing worked. The money she had accumulated so quickly drained even faster. Desperation forced her to sell off her cars, her boutique, and finally the penthouse she once flaunted. But no amount of money could cure her ailment. Her beauty faded, her skin became pale, and the smell of decay that followed her became unbearable for anyone to stay near her. In the end, Uduak lived in isolation on the outskirts of the town, abandoned by everyone she once knew. The proud, glamorous young lady who had insulted others for their poverty was now a shadow of herself, living in shame and sorrow. Uduak, once a symbol of success and envy, became lesson for everyone who had watched her rise. In her desperation to make it, she had lost everything she once had: her dignity, health, and sanity. And so, the once glamorous Uduak faded into obscurity. Her story, a testament to the warning to those who sought shortcuts to success. This is a beautiful story that tells us of the dangers of impatience. Would the good things of life come? Yes, sure they will. When you keep doing something positively with your hands and your mind. So, why rush because it is December? Why rush because it is Christmas time? There is something Apostle Joshua Selman said, that he wouldn't listen to someone who hasn't failed before. Lasting success is a success that has its foundation on failures. Your future is brighter. Don't relent. Give it your all. You will surely have more than you desire. Remember, like we do say in this channel, you deserve everything you desire. Keep working at it. Life doesn't stop at Christmas. So instead of being depressed over what you don't have, how about you start thanking God for the things we do have? I am rooting for you. Merry Christmas in advance. See you on the next tale. Don't forget to leave a comment or two. Subscribe, like, and share. Support the channel by watching some minutes of the ads and super thanks in the comments. I am so grateful to you. Thank you so much.